Welcome in to the new members and to the old members that have found their way back to the community. I need you just as much as you need me. I decided to come on in this very early AM update because not only has XRP dropped about 2.7%, which was the fear earlier with the escrow dump, but we've learned just about 30 minutes ago, we learned a couple hours ago, but we got the validation, at least for me, from a separate indication here, that only 500 million XRP would be unlocked from Ripple for this escrow drop instead of 1 billion. And it looks like it's only 500 million. I couldn't see anything else that would make it appear that it was anything more. So amidst the price scrutiny and the pressure on Ripple from how they dump onto the market, they continue to do the escrow dumps, which is what needs to be done, because you can't just release these last 40 billion on the market at once. It would create extreme depreciation. So for now, this month, it looks like 500 million XRP was dumped from the Ripple escrow. So we'll go over this in the actual news before we end this update. But first, we're going to go over the technical analysis of not just XRP. We're going to look at DigiByte as it is outperforming the market once again, as it's up 4.8%. But we're also going to look at Bitcoin here first off. So Bitcoin's down 2.66%, or down 1,900 points here. And it happened pretty quickly here in the past hour or two when it started to fall off here. So if we take a look at the 30-minute time frame, we attempted to break out of here. As of right now, if we look at this, one could argue that we couldn't come back up. We didn't create the pressure. Is this a fake out, or is this just overextended? Well, the problem is once you start to overextend these, when they look like bull flags, you're going to find out very quickly what ends up happening here, because it ends up turning into, if it's unsuccessful, a lot of times a topping reversal pattern. And I think a lot of people are going to be able to see what we're talking about here. So just because it's a bull flag setup doesn't mean it has to break bullish. And I think this would be your best interpretation of how to look at this. You could see at 1, 2, 3, 4 peaks over, and it just couldn't do the job. So now, if you ask me, created a little sneaky head and shoulders possibly here, which is pretty interesting if you ask me, because any move that is the opposite, because you have an equal move to the downside, now it's an opposite reaction, equal or opposite reaction, whatever you want to call it. But if it doesn't happen to the top side, it's going to have to happen to the bottom side. And that's going to bring us down towards that 63,200. The technical target from this right now is about 64,173 if it does continue to push down. And at least for the time being, it looks like we failed this bull flag, at least for the immediate moment. 15-minute, not seeing much of a rebound attempt at all. So we'll see. It's definitely going to have to push up here because it's overextended in the shorter time frames. So is this a fake out, or are we going to have to come down some, what is this, roughly 5,000 points here? We're going to find out this very, very quickly. And then as far as this goes, this isn't even, I think we have to look at this a little different real quick. I understand we have those targets. I'll keep them on the board. But we need to look at these shorter targets right now, just in case Bitcoin needs a correction here. I think the more likely scenario would be to come down here, 67,334. Whoops. I think that would be the most likely scenario with what we're looking at in front of us. I think coming down here to 67,381 approximately would be a safe bet. And then if we clone this, wow, I don't know what I did there. And then we put this to the, just in case we had a bullish continuation, because you always want to see the target. See, that's how we're going to get over to that. That's at 73,768. So if we broke up out of this, it would have been, first target would have been 73,768. Technical target after holding 60,690. The technical target from that broken structure back to the top side, it technically is a technical target all the way up to that 73,768. So this is pretty ironic now how this is lining up. I'm going to take away that short target because I want to keep this straight to the vest right now. So that's what we're looking at here. I'm going to take this away too. This is what we're looking at in the immediate short term for Bitcoin. So I hope this helps on this early AM, but this is, it looks like a bull flag setup, but if it breaks to the bottom side, it doesn't mean that it's over. It doesn't mean that this pattern's ended by any stretch. It could just mean that we have to look at this just slightly. I mean, look how perfectly that lines up, actually. That's the true uptrend from when we came down here to the inverted head, inverted right shoulder. After a little bit of a push up, this would have been the true correction right here. It's almost ironic. Not ironic. This is too perfect how this lined up. So it's suggesting that if we come back down to hit this uptrend, now that we failed, obviously, this parabolic uptrend that we ended up hitting, the technical uptrend for a third hit right now would be right at 67,381. I don't argue with numbers, so I think that's a pretty fair bet here. I think that's a pretty fair bet. So if Bitcoin gets rejected, which you would anticipate it to do right now, if it gets rejected on the retest at 70,200 approximately, might not even come all the way up there, to be honest with you. But if it gets rejected, around 70, man, that's so tough. If Bitcoin gets rejected at, we'll call it 70,200. If we get rejected around 70,200, that's very bearish. This will be bearish, and it'll come down to, let's get this exact measurement. 67,381, right on the uptrend. So it would, I mean, look at this. I think this is fair. I think this is a fair analysis here. So you had one support, two support, and then if it does this, back to support, even if it's going to go, it would fake it. It would tease a topping reversal pattern, which I think it would benefit from a move down like this and then a push out. So still got this inverted head and shoulders playing out. Even if it comes through left shoulder, head, right shoulder, it is actually closer, but if it does this, we're going to know for sure that's the, watch, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. It would be perfect. So I'm anticipating a drop down to 67,381 is the bottom line. Unless somehow we can get back over 70,200, which there's not a lot of strength here. We need a little bit of a correction here, and it's not. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, but we could have about 1,000-point pushback up for a retest here, depending on where it hits in the area. So pay attention to that with Bitcoin. I wanted to give a full analysis. DGB, right before we get to XRP, so I don't forget. DGB has a technical target right now. If it continues to play true, and it's a pretty extensive one. The first target's 1838, but then if you continue to play up, you could come all the way up to 21. We broke out of a nice descending formation, nice descending triangle. And now it looks like we're getting ready to the next layer. It really does. First target, though, like I said, first resistance is 1838. And then the second resistance would be over the top at 21. But this obviously, a lot of the market structure, a lot of the market setup is going to play into this. It's actually pretty interesting that it set it up like this too, because you can definitely see. I want to see what this does here, because it's come up to a bunch of tops here, so we're gonna see if there's any kind of strength here. But DGB certainly has an engulfing candle in the 30 minutes, so we're gonna see here. It could end up hot here. We could end up hot here with the market having a little bit of trouble here. DGB could get hot. So look at that 1838. If it falls through, if we lose the 153, you're coming back down for a retest right around the 14 area. So just pay attention to that. And XRP, I want to get to this because it is late. And then I want to go into that reading from the escrow dump. How it looks like 500 million XRP was released by Ripple, not 1 billion. So this is the second month in a row where they had a pretty fair amount short. So with XRP, we've been struggling all day, and we talked about how it's just been struggling to hold this 625. Then it was down to, now it's 622 right here. And the bottom of this formation suggested if we were breaking down this first target down here at 606. So we've now hit that. Now the question is that enough? Because it looks like a lot of things are overextended in the market. So I'm hoping Bitcoin can push past through 70,200 and not reach that lower levels that I talked about, a couple thousand points down. I prefer for it to just break over 70,200 and keep going on its inverted pattern. But like XRP, resistance, support, support. As long as this doesn't break, we're very bullish though. And the next move back up is going to be a pretty significant one because of how far we're down here. Now it's going to look even bigger than it is. But if we hold this 606 level, you're looking at about an 8% move here. Even for rejection, it'd be about 2.4%. But I would anticipate if it holds this, that it's going to come all the way back up and do that 7 to 8% move here. So watch that immediate short-term pattern with XRP. XRP right now, it's in this consolidation formation. There's no other way to put this. If it does break down here, it comes down to about that 53.3 cents. But at that point, would it be a stretch to say it's going to come down to the bottom of the bullish handle? No. So from 53 cents to 50 cents, that's just a hop, skip, and a jump. So we're looking to hold this formation and then start breaking up. But if we do break down, like it's an 8% move back up to the top of this resistance, but it's a 12.3% drop if we fall out of this. So that's what we're looking at here. And for anybody who doesn't know, we are on a cup and handle formation. These typically break bullish 85% of the time. 15% of the time, it just won't be the right environment. You won't have enough buyers at the top. And then it has to correct back down and reset and then continue on. So, but right now, where it's currently at, I expect it to break up. And that doesn't mean it's going to break up now and go to 75 or 80 or even more. It means that I expect it before this breaks down, even if it comes back down here to about 50 cents, which I could see that happening again, this would hold instead of breaking down. That's my overall anticipation here. Whether or not it plays out the way I'm anticipating it or not, only time will tell. We'll update the technicals as we have to. And another main reason why we knew we were in some problems here, we got a very big resistance here that for whatever reason, and some could say it's because it continuously lines up with the escrow dumps or Ripple selling, and I understand, yada, yada, yada. But that's been a very key resistance at 64.2, and I have it across there because that's a major pivot point. Major pivot point. And if it holds, that's going to hold that head and shoulders formation. And then the bottom of this formation, if everything were to break down, this is the entirety of the formation from all the way back when we had all-time highs in January of 2018. The bottom of this formation, if all things went to hell, is 38.9 cents right now, and you have to hold that. So you have to hold 38-cent area. Otherwise, you break this pattern that's been going 77 months. And right now, we're nowhere near the support. We're closer to resistance. But I like to give all the information so everybody watching can make an educated and informed decision. And then if we break it down into a slightly bigger time frame from what we showed on the first chart, this is in the expansion zone. We broke down. We came back down and touched support now. So is this going to hold? This is why it's interesting. I told everybody that this pattern's been predicting every single move as we played out. So now this has to be deleted. Expansion zone came down. But this has been telegraphing every single move we've had on XRP. We come up. So boom to support. 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 So now we're getting to the apex moment of this formation, folks. We're getting to the apex moment, and let's take a true measurement. It's so hard to take it because you hit here. I'm going to give it a little bit of a... I don't like to go all the way up when it's like this. So if it breaks down... looking at about 45 cents on this particular pattern formation. So like I said, there's a lot of support and resistance here. A lot of conflicting numbers here, because if you break down or break up, it's going to be a massive differential. If you break down, the head and shoulders pattern plays out, and it would drop down. I'm not saying it's going to go to 45 because I'm not quite sure that's the way it would play out. I'm not. Because we do have that handle formation, I would hate to see it break all the way down to 45 unless it's just a quick wick. A quick wick's fine, which I could see that happening, but anything other than a quick wick there, that would invalidate this cup and handle formation. You do not want that. So in my heart of hearts, I'm hoping that this does play up and we can spare some of the holders or some of the swing traders or some of the leverage traders. But we'll see how this plays out. So pay attention to everything we've gone through here for XRP. DigiByte, Bitcoin. So just pay attention. And I want to read this very quickly because it's late and I want to go check on my son because he's up right now. If you do appreciate this update, please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube recommends this update. By you hitting that like button, YouTube recommends it. That doesn't just affect the new users, but also the older viewers as well. So basically by hitting that like button and YouTube recommending the update, that means when you're scrolling through your feed, my content shows up. So when you're on YouTube scrolling, it shows up. So new members can find me for the first time, but old members who might have been trying to find their way back could get a reminder, and then it's so on and so forth. If you're looking to trade XRP in the USA and you're tired of paying the fees like on Uphold and other exchanges, or you're just sick of them being down during high times of volatility like right now, because like Coinbase, Binance, Uphold, and the Krakens and the normal characters here are typically down. So look at BITUNIX, video description below and or pinned comments. Lowest spot and leverage trading fees in the USA, no VPN needed, so take advantage of that. And then if you're looking to trade outside of the USA and you're looking for XRP healthcare, or if you just want the no spot fees that's going on with MEXC, take advantage of that. That's outside the USA, but that's also in the pinned comment below and or video description. And if you do appreciate my work and you want to go over and above, consider joining Tom's Army as it's the start of a new month, or send one YouTube super chat per month. It would be greatly and eternally appreciated, as it is the start of a new month, and I ask one time per month from my audience if you could send a donation or join Tom's Army if it's within your means. So last but not least, Ripple unlocks 500 million XRP from Escrow amid increased sales scrutiny. So Ripple unlocked 500 million XRP from Escrow for the month of April amid increased scrutiny of the XRP sales by the XRP community. The latest escrow execution, indexed by Whale Alert, occurred today at 2:51 UTC with the 500 million XRP valued at a whopping $314,874,965 at the time of the execution. And here's the Whale Alert. 500 million XRP worth $314,874,965 US dollars unlocked from escrow at unknown wallet. Notably, the Ripple address that received the tokens has not distributed or sold them off as of the time of the report, maintaining a balance of 500 million XRP. The wallet's escrow balance has now depleted to 4.5 billion XRP tokens, with the next execution scheduled for May 1st. While Ripple typically unlocks 1 billion from escrow every month, some months witness a deviation from this pattern. For instance, the blockchain payments firm only released 500 million XRP last month, but it persisted in its pattern of relocking 800 million tokens. On-chain data confirms that another escrow execution attempt for March failed due to a missing reference object. Ripple also unlocked only 600 million XRP from escrow on February 1st. However, in an exciting twist, the firm completed the 1 billion quota much later in the month on February 25th. Throughout this year, January is the only month that has recorded Ripple's characteristic escrow unlock pattern. The firm releases 1 billion tokens on the first day of the month and relocks 800 million XRP shortly after the escrow execution. It remains to be seen if the blockchain company will release an additional 500 million XRP for April, mirroring the February pattern. Nonetheless, at the reporting time, only 500 million tokens have left escrow for this month. Following the latest execution, Ripple holds 39.5 billion XRP in escrow across 8 wallets. The escrowed assets are currently worth 24.7 billion, representing a significant portion of the XRP tokens in existence. Ripple's substantial escrow holdings have taken center stage in recent times and increased scrutiny of the company's past and present XRP sales. The increased scrutiny is a result of discoveries made from the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit. Previously, information from past legal documents confirmed that Ripple leveraged bots from trading from GSR to execute past XRP sales to institutions. This triggers speculation that Ripple sales suppressed XRP price. However, the Ripple CTO David Schwartz debunked these claims, confirming that the firm already ended these institutional sales. Most recently, the SEC made a demand for $2 billion in fines from Ripple for these past institutional sales. Speculation has emerged that the firm could sell off some of its escrowed XRP tokens to meet the demand if the judge rules in favor of the SEC. Meanwhile, Ripple CTO has persistently maintained that burning the escrow would not positively impact XRP's price amid calls from community members. According to Schwartz, Ripple is looking to reduce its escrow balance as quickly as possible, hence the XRP sales. Please make sure to hit that like button if you appreciate this early morning update, as it will help YouTube recommend the channel. And if you made it until the end, hashtag be better, do better in the comments.